thing right now.
Rise and shine, it's a beautiful day. I am alright.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
This is the bridge to white lights.
Our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
And at that point, we were taken for another round of questioning, this time related to our allegedly being members of Mossad.
It's crazy evil.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. This is the Morning Dump. I am your host, Jose Galison. What is today? Today's Friday. Hell yeah. TGIF. August 29th. Nice Friday morning. Yeah, I got to run, workout in, everything, all that, all done. I probably honestly, sorry I'm a little bit late. Frankly, I'll be honest, if I probably could have made it on time, but I wouldn't have been able to do a full workout. So sorry guys, it is what it is. You waited a half hour. I just wanted to get it all done at once. It was Friday. I wanted to get over with, chill for the weekend. I have a big soccer tournament with the kiddo this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that. She's going to crush. We're going to have a fun time. But so here I am with you guys now on a good Friday morning, ready to eat a little breakfast, ready for some coffee, ready to hang out with you guys. Now I'm ready for my morning dump. Let's roll through the morning video, and then we'll say our good mornings. Let me see if I can get it. Here we go. All right, here is the morning video. I thought this would be a fun place to start off the day. Kind of sets the tone for where we're going to be. You'll see why. You might be like, "What the hell?" No intro given by me. Just watch this video. Oh, I did it again. I did the thing. Man, StreamYard is being absolutely... Give me a minute. Sorry, guys. That was partially me being retarded and partially StreamYard. I literally just shared the media, and it's already glitching out and not wanting to play the audio. Because it does this thing whenever you share media, every now and then it'll, the audio will stop working for it, and then you have to, stop sharing and then reshare it and bring it back up. It literally right off the bat. I mean, I didn't bring it up to the stage, so it's partially my fault. But even then, even when I did, the audio wasn't working. So, partially my fault. That would have been a minor snafu, but StreamYard went and fucked me and made it way worse. So, all right, let's try this again now. I have it up. StreamYard, please work with for me. Please, let's watch this video.
Pizza, cheese curd tacos. All right, here we go. Pizza, cheese curd taco. Hey, Minnesota. Pizza, cheese curd taco. Wisconsin, do you hear that? Pizza, cheese curd taco. Not just cheese curd, not just plain boring cheese curd. Pizza, cheese curd taco. Pretty flaky, looks pretty good. Here we go. Yep, that's a winner. You can taste the cheese curd. Plenty of tomato sauce in it. But I have to tell you, the tortilla around it, this is solid. Right here, folks, cheese curd tacos. It's really good.
You actually want to bite. Oh, I'm going to take one bite.
Backside bite. The shell. Yeah. Cheese curd taco. Who are these guys? Did you have a cookie? Good to see you all. Where are you from? Nice. Favorite thing?
Yeah, Giant Slide.
Oh, Giant Slide is great. You know what I did a couple years ago? I didn't do it this year. That slingshot thing. It's terrifying. Think about it.
I didn't put something on the trampoline.
Oh, that's fun too. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, would you believe it? This is what set off the Minnesota shooter. This was his MK Ultra signal. That's what's going around. Here's my buddy, friend of the show, Foundering. He said, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz posts a random video bizarrely talking about cheese curds. He says the Minnesota trans suspect's X account was spicy cheese curd. And we're the schizos for noticing. I'm sorry, Foundering, I love you, but this is actually, frankly, pretty fucking retarded. I'm all for it. You guys know me. You know me. I mean, I know I'm in this weird territory. Like, I don't feel like I'm the snooty parapolitics type that like looks down my eyes and my glasses at the kinds that like engage in woo woo or anything. And even then, sometimes I may engage in it if you give me something. Like, I'm not someone who will poo poo any sorts of speculation. I love to speculate, but it has to be some level of grounding in reality. And I'm open to the idea of MK Ultra trigger phrases and shit like that, but. This is Minnesota. I mean, he posted a video about cheese curds. Minnesota's known for cheese. That's like their shit. I mean, this is not, I don't know. This is completely, I think it's completely on the up and up for a coincidence. Because even then, this is August 25th. So when was the shooting? The shooting was, I think it was the 27th. So it was Wednesday. So even though it was 2 days later, so it's not even like you could say some crazy coincidental timing or something. I guess you would say, oh, it was 2 days before, so now that's what set him off. But, I mean, I'm open to the idea. I just think it's, it is. It does kind of make you, this schizo for noticing here. That is, I don't know. I mean, I love you, buddy, but this is low-tier conspiracy shit. This is slop. I'm sorry. It's nonsense. It's bullshit. It's is there a possibility it's grounded in reality? Sure. This is based on this is the textbook definition of what a coincidence is. And I know there's a lot of people like to say, "Oh, I don't believe in coincidences," but like there actually are things called coincidences. And when someone says I don't believe in coincidence, they usually mean that to say when you have an extremely specific scenario or something like beyond the realm. That's what they're meaning. They're saying like, hey, we can't just say everything's that. So yeah, I don't know. This is and people have rightly so kind of made fun of it. I'm not even trying to make fun of Foundering. He's just the one who showed up on my feed. I'm not even sure if he's the one who started this. I think this is a lot of people running with this. Maybe there's more to this thread of thought than I've seen, because if this is it. I mean, I guess I'm being dismissive and a little bit condescending now, but maybe, just granted, perhaps there's more to this argument that has not been presented here. I mean, let's go to the main post. Maybe there's more below that Foundering presents. For example, he says we need better psyops. He says here's his alleged account, and it's just spicy cheese curd. So I guess that's all that upholds it. So it's not even like... Which I'm not even saying Foundering was trying to make an extensive argument here. Maybe I'm missing some part of it. So just saying, just based on this and this alone, and I haven't seen. I don't know. It seems pretty ridiculous. So I think, I don't know. It's not even like a fun conspiracy, because like as getting at where I do like to engage in some of the stuff where like I may even be like, okay, this is extremely dubious, but I'll go with you. This one's just kind of lame. It's just a lame one. I mean, like. He said cheese curds a couple days before in Minnesota, and that's what's in. I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. It doesn't make my dick jump, and I think it's kind of weird. All right. One more thing before we move on to our good mornings. I wanted to do this at the jump before I forgot about it. I had a mutual reach out to me, told me about this guy named Primal Rapist. I'm just kidding. His name's Primal Papist, but I swear, like. The first time I saw his name, his Twitter name, I thought it said Primal Rapist, and then I just like from there, every time I see it, that P becomes an R, and then I look closer and go, it's Papist, and so yeah, I know, but Primal Rapist is funnier. It's a much funnier Twitter name. But yeah, this guy apparently his house got burnt down, so he says, hey y'all, since some of y'all asked, here's a GoFundMe to help me get back on my feet after the arson. As always, your prayers are the best support I could ask for, but if you feel inclined to help me replace some of my possessions, it would be appreciated. Now, let's follow the GoFundMe. Maybe there's something more about the information here, because it's actually a really fucking crazy story. He sent me an article, too. It's just legitimately seems like some fucking crazy person type thing in their area. So, but let's go through it. This is on August 22nd, 2025. A massive and devastating loss was felt in New Alexandria, Westmoreland County. A home on the 7800 block of Route 22, where Nick Nagy lived upstairs, was consumed by a massive fire. Nick was away at work when the flames erupted, but the damage was complete. The house was a total loss. This wasn't any ordinary fire. Authorities suspect arson linking the blaze to a prior explosive incident. A previous tenant had placed explosives under a lawnmower, causing a devastating explosion when it was started, ultimately damaging the very property Nick called home. The previous tenant, evicted and wanted on serious charges, including attempted homicide, remains at large and is believed to be hiding in the surrounding woods, which complicated both the firefighting efforts and the trauma that followed. Nick thankfully escaped physical harm, but returning to the ashes of his home has left him displaced, shaken, and uncertain about what comes next. He's already begun salvage efforts, finding and recovering a few personal items, including antique firearms that survived the blaze. A small victory amid overwhelming loss. Now more than ever, Nick needs our help. There's insurance, but it won't begin to cover the full extent and emotional toll of his displaced belongings and the cost of rebuilding a safe place to live. Your support can make a world of difference as Nick works to rebuild his life, restore his home, and regains a sense of security. It's a hard world out there for a primal rapist. When you're just out there primally raping, things happen. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't be making jokes here. That's awful. Once again, just to clarify, that's a stupid joke. This guy is not a primal rapist, and he does perhaps deserves his hope. I haven't looked at... I mean, so far, this seems legit to me. So I do think this definitely seems like a worthy cause. If this is sub-scam, then they are going above and beyond. And to show you this, to where even more, I don't think this is a scam. Here is an article supporting all of this. So here is in 4 ABC, I think Pittsburgh, out there in Pennsylvania. It says community concerns grows as search for James Sever continues after fire explosion in Westmoreland County. So we'll go and play this real quick. No, never mind. I can get them. Of course. All right. Of course, the audio is doing the thing again. Give me a second. God dang it. This is ridiculous. Sorry. Stupid StreamYard. All right. There we go. Let's try this again.
About
now
the
it
search
there we go.
and investigation into James Sever. There have been no new developments since last week. This is now week 6 of this investigation, and the concern in the community continues to grow. Sever hasn't been found since he allegedly caused a lawnmower to explode at a house in Salem Township in July. As of Monday, he's still believed to be in the wooded areas of New Alexandria and Derry Township. A lot of people go to those areas this time of year.
So we come out here to kayak or to walk, take the dogs for a walk.
This is definitely a very busy park usually.
Keystone State Park is not far from the former landlord's property. It sees thousands of people every summer. Those people haven't seen a situation like this before.
This is such a densely vegetation area that really he can be hiding almost any place.
But it is concerning knowing that there might be somebody here.
It's kind of scary. You never think about that, and you never know what you're going to run into, and you don't know what you don't know.
While Sever's case is seemingly personal between he and his former landlord, that doesn't mean the people around New Alexandria aren't worried.
If you're desperate, who knows what you're going to do? So if you want to try to escape getting captured, so you're going to potentially do something else.
That uncertainty has people asking for information on the search.
I think that it is only fair to the community here that we get some more answers, and not knowing is not an acceptable answer.
The hope is that Sever is not just found, but found before what should be a busy weekend.
There's a lot at stake here, and make sure that the community stays safe over Labor Day.
I hope that
all right, that's I think it's
107
harm to anybody.
Sever is described as a 6'1", 170-pound man with dark hair. If you see anyone that fits that description in the New Alexandria Derry Township area, you're advised not to approach him and call 911 or the PSP Kiski Valley. Covering Westmoreland County in Greensburg, Ed Diorio, Pittsburgh's Action News 4.
Thank you.
All right, yeah. So that's this literally some crazy dude. I guess this is. It sounds like this was perhaps maybe I might be misunderstanding, but the person here is the landlord. So I guess that is some sort of tenant landlord thing is what it seems like. Maybe a former tenant. Oh, it's a former landlord. So yeah, this seems like some sort of landlord revenge. So I guess our primal rapist or papist, my bad, is a landlord. So that might be what we're getting at here. So I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what the hell the gripe is with these two people, but I think it's probably safe to say it probably did not merit getting his house burnt down. I think whatever their conflict was, it probably could have been resolved in other ways. And so if you guys could go help him out, we would appreciate that. I think, one second. I just X'd out of the GoFundMe. Actually, I'll retweet it real quick so those who follow me on Twitter will see it. It'll be the most recent thing I'll have retweeted. That way, yeah. So let me see. Doing that right now. Sorry, I know this is not great content to be doing it like that. But there you go. So that's the most recent thing. It's also, how would he find it on GoFundMe? Help Nick rebuild after devastating arson claimed his home. I guess maybe you could type in search or something. I know it's a mouthful, or you can find it on my Twitter. But with that, let's go through and say our good mornings. Check in with you guys. What did it do? All right. Good morning, Andrew Jacobs. Good morning. Hey, say what now? Good morning, King David. And he says, hit that like button, dumpers. Let's support Jose. Yes, please. Please do that. Man, what is going on? I'm seeing it now, too. I'm like only 15 minutes in the show. I'm like seeing significantly more viewers. It's weird. The same thing, my fucking episode yesterday did like buku numbers, comparatively speaking. I mean, it's not like mega numbers or anything, but probably did over twice what it normally does. Like, so I'm like, what the hell? So, hey, glad you guys are enjoying it. I don't know what happened. Maybe this is just what it looks like when YouTube isn't fucking me. I don't know. Maybe something shifted in the winds. I don't know. But hey, whatever. I'll enjoy it while it's here. Glad to see all of you guys with me. Good morning, Tower Gang NPC. Good morning, Black Eye. I believe you shared me some Australia stuff earlier today. I replied to you. That one seems super dubious. I tried to dig in it a little bit. I'm pretty sure that perhaps whoever you tagged me in may have just been sharing some sort of slop. But maybe I don't know. If you find a better source than that, let me know. Good morning, Adrian Brody. And then King David says, best birthday gift for my 40th birthday, Jose, giving me knowledge for the day before I head to work. Well, happy birthday, King David. Happy 40th, you old fuck. I'm just kidding. That's not even that old. The older I get, the less the old seems. The less old seems old. Which, I don't know, maybe it's just cope. Good morning, Eddie Grimm. Good morning, Tom33. Good morning, Alien Big Cats. Good morning, Taylor Spook. Good morning. Good morning, Noname. And he says good morning to his fellow dumpers. Good morning, Doctor. Good morning, Marnimac. Good morning. Good morning, Boomer Sooner. Good morning, Shifty Eyes Shady. Good morning, Real John Doe. Good morning, Connor. Good morning, Jake Moore. And then Black Eye says, I hadn't dug that much. We'll tag you in anything better. Yeah, I appreciate it. I was super interested, and then I realized, I'm pretty sure that bitch didn't know what the hell she's talking about. All right, let's go ahead and get into the foreign policy of today, and then we'll get into the main topics. And I don't know, I think I'm going to try to keep it today a little bit shorter. We'll see if I'm successful. Part of the reason why I'm also a little bit late today is my kiddo's not feeling so well. So I just I want to maybe try to have like a movie morning or something with her. I don't know, we'll see. But I wanted to keep it short. I want to check in with you guys anyways. So let's get into the foreign policy stuff of today. First story leading off today is U.S. announces plan to arm Ukraine with thousands of long-range cruise missiles. So not looking so great. Trump administration has announced that it approved an $825 million weapons deal that will arm Ukraine with thousands of extended-range attack munition air-launched missiles, which can hit targets up to 280 miles away, a significantly further range than other missiles the U.S. has sent in the proxy war. If I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure this is actually what we were considering like months or maybe like 6 months to like a year ago or so, and I'm pretty sure Russia actually changed their nuclear doctrine as a result of this, or maybe I'm confusing with something else. But either way, we're playing dangerous games here. The Pentagon's Defense Security Cooperation Agency said the deal will provide Ukraine with 3,350 ERAM missiles, 3,350 embedded global positioning system. I don't know why I read that. GPS, inertial navigation systems, and other related equipment. The arms sale will be funded in part by foreign military financing. So this is, This is why, I mean, I didn't just read the headline here. Most was this part specifically, because people, for one, I don't even know this. Maybe if we read a little bit further in here. Actually, let's finish this one little paragraph, and then that'll kind of make the point I'm getting here. It'll be funded in part by the FMF, a State Department program that provides foreign governments with money to buy U.S.-made weapons. Other funding for the deal will come from Denmark, the Netherlands, and Norway. So this is what I'm getting at. Now, they've been floating out for a while because we've been, from the jump, kind of just funding Ukraine and just giving them stuff. But it was, I mean, they would sometimes, I don't know. I don't remember if they did or did not, if they just call them grants or if they would call them sales. I don't even know. Anytime you hear arms sales, generally speaking, it's probably, maybe it's partially a sale or it's like, but it's kind of a bit of a misnomer, and that's kind of what I'm getting at here. We were supplying them throughout this whole Ukraine thing, and then, what is it, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago or so, we started floating out this idea, I guess around the time Trump came in, he was floating around this idea of, maybe about 3 months ago, actually, because they tried the whole minerals deal nonsense first, and then they started floating out this idea of, well, we're not going to directly supply you the weapons anymore. Now we'll do where now the European countries, because then they got to have this narrative line of, well, they need to pay their fair share. So now the Europeans need to fund this. And so then it's like, but now we're just selling it. So then it's like, oh, well, this is just a business deal. We're making money off this. And it's like, you should always approach this with skepticism because it's almost certainly not how it's going to work. And here we go, just like that. Look, funded in part by the FMF. So I guess, sure, it's sort of being funded by Denmark and the Netherlands and Norway, which, like, cool. I mean, yeah, sure, I guess somewhat it's reducing the tax burden for us while still inching closer to nuclear war. So that's great. But yeah, we're still paying for it. So I think that's worthwhile keeping an eye on because people have this idea. The idea they hear, oh, arms sales. It's, sort of, not really. I mean, sometimes there'll be times will be literally not a sale, and it'll be like a sale, and then some other military aid thing will pay for it or something. But it's like, well, sort of a sale. I'm like, yeah, not really. If the seller is paying, is the seller is the one buying it, then not really. All right, more on the Russia stuff. We have Germany's Merz, the chancellor, saying there will obviously be no Putin-Zelensky meeting. So not looking good. I know that got floated out a while back that, hey, maybe we'd get some sort of meeting. Here's what Merz had to say about it. He said, unlike what had been agreed between President Trump and President Putin last week, we were together in Washington is obviously not going to come to a meeting between Zelensky and President Putin. Merz said while visiting France ahead of a dinner with Macron. There's been no sign of a progress toward a peace deal, mainly due to the insistence of Zelensky and his Western backers that Ukraine must receive security guarantees that involve the deployment of Western troops to Ukrainian territory, an idea that Russia has repeatedly stated is a non-starter. So, yeah, I mean, it's still going to keep on going on. So, I mean, there's not a... Woohoo! I'm glad we're not fighting this war anymore, right? So then we have over in Israel, we got 75 more Palestinians died in the last 24 hours, unfortunately. So what are we at? 4 starvation in the past 24 hours and 71 otherwise. So not great. We're still murdering people in aid situations. So. Just the murder continues. Nothing new there. And we have more quotes from Smotrich. It's always good to listen to what he has to say. He said on Thursday he proposed a systematic annexation of Gaza over the coming months if Hamas keeps fighting, as well as the implementation of U.S. President Donald Trump's plan to ethnically cleanse the Palestinian enclave. Smotrich, who leads the far-right religious Zionism party, announced his plan to win in Gaza by the end of the year. He said Israel must completely hold control of the entire strip forever. He also explained, in quotes, an ultimatum will be presented to Hamas between 2 options. Says, surrendering, disarming, and returning all hostages kidnapped during the October 7th, 2023 attack, or gradual annexation of areas of the Gaza Strip and reduction of the enemy's territory and implementation of the Trump's plan of the Trump plan for voluntary emigration of the Strip's residents. So, I mean, it's kind of funny that he's even, I guess, darkly funny that he's even presenting this as or. Anyone who's been paying attention should know this is an and, They just want them to, I mean, like, if they gave them back all the hostages right now, I have zero belief that this would in any way save the Palestinian people. And if anything, I think Hamas probably that's their holdout. That might be the only thing that gives them any tiny bit of buffer between that and complete and not entire annihilation for their people anyway. So, not looking good. Not looking good there. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one of these days, maybe eventually something will give. But we're seeing here. I had to share this with you guys. We covered this story yesterday about the churches in Gaza all kind of making what did they put, some sort of joint letter together, I think, stating that, hey, we're not leaving, we're sticking around, and man, you'd be surprised. I mean, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You'd be astounded how they respond. But let's go ahead and let's read. I'll read the original tweet. There's someone named Khalil Saig. I don't know who that is particularly. It says, the churches in Gaza have decided not to evacuate their buildings in Gaza City. Christians are choosing to remain, even if it means risking their lives rather than leaving their churches. And then now the Jewish Policy Center quote tweeted this. It says, it's important to understand if Gaza Christians believe Israel will not conduct its war in Gaza City, they are mistaken. They have implanted themselves in a battlefield. They are part of the battle. If they are looking for martyrdom, well, ... So, I mean, just kind of a wild statement to have. I guess they're staying here to help. I guess you're just existing in this area as you're worthy of being murdered. This is what the Jewish policy has, which I believe, if I recall correctly, let's grok it. Let's grok it up. Let's see, Jewish Policy Center. Who are policy prominent members? Because I know there were a few that were on the board. I kept seeing tweets about that. Let me put who are some of the Jewish policy. What is the Jewish policy? What was it? Policy. Let me see. What was it called? It was Jewish Policy Center. Jewish Policy Center. There we go. I fucked that up. Policy Center, prominent members. Let me see. Oops, shit. What the fuck did I just do? I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. Okay, there we go. Let's hit enter. Let's see. Matthew Brooks, Norman Podhoretz, whatever. Ruth Wiss. What about on the board? I swear, I know they said Prager. Never mind, whatever. Fuck it. This was a dud. I thought there was something there. I swore I saw a post of people saying it. Maybe it's bullshit. Maybe Grok's full of shit. You never know. Don't ever trust Grok. But yeah, this is where they're at. Nope. If you're hanging out in this area, you're worthy of dying, even if you are religious. So yeah, and then we have also one thing to keep an eye out on, which we've been talking about a lot lately, is the Venezuela stuff going on. Here's Dave DeCamp. He's quote tweeting Axios with an excerpt. It says which from the article saying the U.S. has never been closer to armed conflict with Venezuela. The story here being Trump has ordered 7 warships with 4,500 personnel to the waters off of Venezuela. But even close advisors aren't so sure whether this is a drug trafficking operation with undertones of regime change or a coup operation masquerading as drug enforcement. Not looking great. And then we also kind of have going on at the same time. I thought this was particularly interesting. We have here they got into fisticuffs in some of the senators in their political halls, whatever you call the place their senators meet. They literally came to blows over U.S. military intervention against drug cartels. So I guess that's something we're pushing onto them right now, and so they're arguing in their political centers. So watch this. Got a pretty good one in there. Was this Telemundo? Telenovelas? I wish our people got in more fights. That'd be cool. It'd be more fun. I'd actually maybe cover more of this stuff. All right, I think that's what we need. We need more fighting in Congress. That's what we need. More fisticuffs. That's what make fisticuffs great again. Also, we have Israel's bombing Yemen again. So they're bombing the capital, Sana'a, for the second time this week. I shared the photo, I think, of the first, or the video, I think, of the first time not too long ago. And then we also have the Israeli ground troops raiding Damascus Air Base. So we have Israel infringing further upon Syria, which we've been covering that day to day. I believe it was drone strikes, yesterday? Yeah, drone strikes against Kiswa, it says in this article here. And now we're up to ground troops. So troops landed at a hilltop near Jabal Mania, which was an air base with an Iranian presence before the fall of the Assad government last year. The new Syrian army has a presence at the site now, though it appears they were chased off by Israeli drone strikes ahead of the raid, and Israeli warplanes kept them from returning. So it seems like, if I'm understanding this correctly, that this is... So they put the drones in earlier in this region, and so it basically sort of got cleared out by their drones, and now the ground troops are coming, and they're kind of there. So I don't think there was any sort of skirmish. So I guess this is what they mean by a raid, although it obviously is like a systematic and advancement, military advancement. Yeah, okay, it's not clear what the Israeli troops were actually doing at the base. It's been reported that some old Iranian weapons may have been left there. The IDF has declined to comment on the operation, saying their policy is to not comment on foreign media reports, and the first coverage of the raid was in the Syrian press. So, hey, they're just going to keep fucking Syria, despite the fact we've normalized relationships with it, and the rest of the world's just going to act like nothing's going on. I don't even know what we've really heard from Syria other than we don't like that. So... pretty wild that Israel can behave in this manner in the world. It's just it is astounding. All right, let's check through the chat to see what you guys got to say. What is going on with StreamYard? I totally had this up earlier. What is going on, man? I'm sorry, guys. I don't think I played any video. Oh, actually, I did play the fight video. I'm sorry. I totally played a fight video and you missed it and everything. All right, I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. I totally had this. I swear I had this up earlier, so I don't know why it took it down. It's totally glitching up. My bad. I'll have to just make more of an effort to check into the chat, because now it's looking like StreamYard's doing some other weird further glitches of some sort, other than just a stupid audio thing. So I'm sorry. Whatever, guys. I mean, I'm doing the best I can here, working with what I got. I'm sorry it did that. So, but all right, let's go through the chat. See what you guys got to say. God, it fucking pisses me off. What do I even pay for this thing for? Good morning, Shifty Eyes Shady. Good morning, Boomer Sooner. Good morning, everybody. He says, the black guy says, the gang grows. It sure does. Yeah. Good morning. Andrew Dolgan says, can't stop winning. Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, Comment Mama. Good morning, Boomer Slayer. Good morning, Shy. Good morning, Knife Safety Plus. My bad. Sorry. Okay. I watched the whole the Mexican video, didn't I? Dude, fucking, it's whatever. It is what it is. My bad. I can't go back in time. I'm sorry. I stole that minute of your life. I already exited out of the tab and everything. So I guess I could go find it again, but man, I'd have to dig through my bookmarks and he fucked it all up. But hey, you guys go look it up on your own. There were some fights. There were some legit fights. So I just gave you commentary of a fight in the halls of the political halls of Mexico, and you guys didn't get to see it. It was pretty good commentary, I think. No, it wasn't. It was pretty low tier. So yeah, I see everyone saying no audio. My bad. Sorry. It is what it is. All right, let's go ahead and get it. Someone says just posted a Telegram. Yeah, that's right. Just a reminder, that is a perk for the patrons. There is a Telegram. All right, let's go ahead and get into the main stories of the day. Sorry. I don't know. It's just fucking embarrassing, guys. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed. All right, guys. On the Minnesota shooting, let's get into kind of the predictable fallout, kind of a little bit what I got at yesterday, and the idea of with these, I guess if you want to call this acceleration in 764, or even just this general archetype of person. What they do is they're intentionally trying to provoke both sides of the binary here, and fell for it again. The meme, hey, it takes on different meaning here. But once again, the MAGA fucking boomers, like idiots they are, and all their apparatchiks just fucking fell for it again. Here's FBI Director Kash Patel. Here's his statement on the recent shooting. It says, as we continue to investigate yesterday's barbaric attack from Robert Westman, the male subject, our teams have gathered information and evidence demonstrating this was an act of domestic terrorism motivated by a hate-filled ideology. Some updates. Subject left multiple anti-Catholic, anti-religious references both in his manifesto and written on his firearms. He sure did, and I actually do believe he probably is anti-religious, but it's also like that. But he's just doing that. I wouldn't have been surprised if we found pro-religious stuff on there in some other way. Subject expressed hatred and violence towards Jewish people, writing Israel must fall, free Palestine, and using explicit language related to the Holocaust. The guy was Jewish. Also, I think that's just a fucking edgy boy thing. Once again, leaning into that. Like the whole, 6 million is not enough. Knowing that people are dumb and they're immediately going to go, oh my God, clearly this is because he hates Jews, or vice versa. The opposite of this. They go, oh, this is him clearly seeding out information. So this means Israel totally didn't do it, or totally did this, or had some part in it. Like this. Also, he wrote explicit call for violence against President Trump on a firearm magazine. Once again, he's trying to make this go big. The FBI investigation is still ongoing. We'll employ all of our counter-terror tools to ensure this is fully investigated and deterred. Did it really do it? It did it. What is going on? I wonder if I'm like on a button or something. Like maybe one of my buttons is being set off somewhere. I totally had this up. I swear I had this tab up. I went over to the other and looked over it, came back, and then it was closed. That is so... I swear StreamYard's fucking with me. Some fucking nerd fed is fucking with me. Because I swear I had the visual aid up a minute ago, left, came back, and then it was gone. What the hell? Because for those who don't know, I guess the behind the scenes, how this works for streaming, is like then I'll go over to the tabs. I only have the one screen. I only have a single screen, which I know someone's offered to buy me a second one. I never followed up on that. I'm sorry. I need to do that. But yeah, I do need at some point to do the split screen thing. But either way, it still shouldn't be doing this. It should. But point being is, I go over to the tab to like scroll through it, look at it. Like I'm on the Twitter, FBI, the tweet from Kash Patel right now, and then so I'm over here. I don't see what you're seeing. So I have to pop back and forth. So I pop over to go cover it, and then I come back and it's gone. God damn it, StreamYard. All right. We're going to have to start a campaign against StreamYard. But anyways, whatever, that was the extent of it. I mean, you didn't really get much out of the visual aid there. I'm more just expressing frustration that what the fuck, why are you doing this to me, StreamYard? But anyways, continuing on this, let's make sure, pop back. Now I got to keep popping back and forth to the fucking original stream tab every single time. Cool, you guys see it. I can see you see it. All right, cool, we're good. All right, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. So here you go. This is Minnesota transgender's killer's father has worked for 29 years as a top-level CIA/DOD contractor per reports. And then it says thoughts, just some. This is just trying to generate. Was it a engagement generation or whatever kind of post? It's low tier shit. Now we did talk about this yesterday. I mean, I admitted I don't know what the hell this is. I mean, kind of. Well, I don't know. Someone, I guess, grokked it, which I know, hey, haha, grok. But someone grokked, hey, did Robin Westman's father work for the CIA? Now, okay, I will say the wording here is work for the CIA, but I guess the way it goes into it and kind of explains the connections, it kind of then goes, maybe it's not as much as we're making out to be. I don't know. Once again, if anyone in the chat knows about this guy's company, ASRI or whatever, I know we looked at it yesterday. It's like it may as well be Spanish to me. I mean, I don't understand tech shit. I mean, who knows? Maybe I happen to have some of the audience who worked at ESRI, who knows someone who worked at ESRI. Maybe it's way more spooky than I thought. But just looking at Grok, I mean, it kind of sounds like maybe just some sort of tech thing. And I think maybe it's possible these things are overblown. Let's go ahead and go through this. It says there's no credible evidence from public records, reliable reporting that Robert Westman's father, James Westman, works or worked directly for the CIA. Claims to this effect appear to originate from an unsubstantiated social media speculation in the wake of August 27th, 2025 shooting at Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis, where Robin Westman is identified as the suspect. These rumors often misrepresent James Westman's professional background by exaggerating indirect connections. James Westman is a longtime resident of South Minneapolis and owns a home near the church. His profession is listed in public profiles as a senior application developer at ESRI, a geospatial software company based in Redlands, California, where he's worked for approximately 30 years. So a senior application developer. I don't know what the hell that really means. You guys tell me if you know. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be spooky. I could also understand how it could be spooky. ESRI provides mapping and analytics tools used by various U.S. government entities, including defense and intelligence agencies such as the NGA, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, and the DoD through enterprise agreements and federal contracts. While ESRI's technology supports intelligence operations broadly, there is no specific evidence of direct contracts with the CIA in available public information, nor indication that James Westman himself has been involved in classified government work. Now, I mean, I guess there probably wouldn't be direct contacts with the CIA to, I guess, kind of give some credence to that there may be something there. I mean, that's not how they usually operate, from my understanding. It doesn't not like you're going to find a receipt that says CIA. But I mean, it sounds to me that perhaps this could be understood as some sort of tech of some sort, maybe. And I mean, it would make sense. It's being used by all sorts of people. And yeah, that's really all that I have to that one. I mean, I don't know. I guess it didn't. As I'm like kind of re-chewing, I'm like, maybe this sounds like some nerd shit possibly, or it could be some spooky shit. I don't know. I'm actually kind of interested in what you guys have to say in the audience, because once again, this is an area of which I am deficient. But it seems to me, perhaps maybe these were a little bit overblown. You're kind of chewing on it a little more. But I will say there is something interesting. I guess the mom worked at the church for a period of time. I believe they said 2021. I think she quit. And I mean, it's what it was. There was something else to that. Maybe I'll remember it later. But yeah, it's I guess she's not really cooperating with police, is the rumors I'm hearing and stuff. So I don't know, everything's still really early. So I don't know anything. But it's I don't remember what it was. There was a report. There was some claims. I mean, I haven't seen the receipts yet. So bear that in mind. Of that, they were the one who applied for him to get his name changed to Robin or whatever. From Robert to Robin at 17. So it was her that did that, and she was the one who worked at the church. So I don't know. I mean, just kind of getting a little bit clearer idea of the situation. The point being, it almost looks like, if anything, she may have been the one that probably had more of a role in his transitioning situation. So and obviously, I don't know where the father was on this. They were divorced, I think, a while back as well. Because then were some people also trying to point to that they're like, oh, in the divorce, it shows there was no child. But even then I saw some other lawyers saying, no, you're just misreading the documents or something. I don't know. Anyways, so they've been divorced for a while too, and she worked at the church. So, I mean, he probably didn't even primarily live with him, but so I don't know. I mean, maybe there's something to it, but I mean, whatever. We're getting more of a clear idea of what this is. Now, let's get into BX's thread. Let me go check, make sure this thing is still up over in StreamYard. Man, it's already doing the audio thing. Luckily, I have no audio to play for you guys right now, but it's already showing me the audio's glitching. Just, man, fucking StreamYard sucks. I'm sorry. They need to fix their shit. I don't know what is going on with them lately. But all right, let's go ahead and get into BX's thread. I did tell you guys yesterday. I know a lot of you guys were saying in the chat that, like, I mean, I hadn't seen it yesterday, so I didn't know what you were talking about then. But but people were saying that they were either arguing with BX or saying she was wrong, or she was saying they were wrong or something. And I wasn't sure quite exactly what, because I think I covered Clonny Pin, and I think you guys were saying that she disputed some of his stuff, and I was like, okay, I didn't know what it was. I was like, maybe she's kind of downplaying or not accentuating too much, maybe some other connections that maybe someone like some of us might. But apparently it was more the 764 connections that she disputed, which, to be fair, I think even in my coverage, I kind of said throughout most of the time that it was like, I don't know, like, just from what I know of the symbolism and stuff, I was going through these things. I'm like, yeah, it's similar aesthetic, but like it wasn't overt. Now I think it was and I'm sure we'll probably go through this in this thread. I think it was God, what was it? I think it was the Twitter account was the one that made it. It was the one that tipped off. But we still don't even know, I guess, for sure that was them. So that might be what we're getting into. But I think we'll get a little bit more clear idea of what's going on after we dig through BX's thread here. This is unmasking the Minneapolis church shooter, which, by the way, for those, once again, I said there's a bunch more people showing up for some weird reason. I've done a playlist on this, so this is mostly with BX and with Ken Silva, between both of their work on so go check out that playlist if you do want to figure out some more about the 76409A, the connections to whether there is one or not, what is 764, because that's a whole other rabbit hole of its own. NBX, this is kind of like her bread and butter too. So you could also just follow her account or whatever, or her Substack, or I think she has videos somewhere on Rumble or something. Anyways, so she's the subject matter expert, or closest thing to it, I guess, here. So a thread of what we know so far and what's been debunked. She says 1-5 on Wednesday. 1 out of 5, so it's the first thread. My bad. You're not supposed to read that. I'm being an idiot. On Wednesday, a 23-year-old transgender named Robin Westman opened fire in a group of children in a Catholic church, killing 2 and injuring over a dozen others. Westman left behind video manifestos on a YouTube channel, but otherwise had a very minimal online footprint. Right off the bat, it was obvious this was another case of a shooter influenced by subversive online groups and acting in the interest of accelerationism. Misinformation began swirling right away. Oddly, people immediately jumped to associating him with 76409A, a stark reversal in the status quo of people pretending like such groups are imaginary. The shooting had all the usual hallmarks of accelerationism: contradictory political opinions, in this as like, quote, kill Israel, kill Hamas, kill Trump, release the Epstein files, a cache of guns, including an AR-15, a plan that aimed to inflict the highest number of child casualties, and fictitious shout-outs to YouTubers like Brandon Herrera. Westman wanted fame. He wanted notoriety, but more than anything else, he wanted us to react. A few things immediately stood out to me. Numerous references to Satanism and to hating Christianity, pointing to an anti-Christian motive. A reference to Samantha Rupnow, the 764 influenced Madison school shooter. A manifesto written mostly nonsensically in Cyrillic, an obsession with other mass shooters and aesthetics, like his KMFDM shirt, which pointed to a connection to the TCC mass shooter fan club community. But even more notably, here's what was missing. No obvious references to 764 or LARPer core themes, as seen with Samantha Rupnow and Solomon Henderson. No use of 09A sigils or imagery. No references to self-harm, grooming, or extortion. No obvious reference to Telegram or use of fast wave aesthetics, and no reliable evidence that he was ideologically driven by neo-Nazism. Just a lot of contradictory trolling, as previously mentioned. Final assessment: Westman was heavily influenced by the TCC mass shooter fan club groups. That said, TCC and other comm spaces are becoming more fluid and overlapping with satanic accelerationist communities more frequently now than ever before. Westman is definitely a fit for the FBI's new nihilistic violent extremist category. And it goes, misinformation spread quickly. Unfortunately, history has taught us that most early information about mass shootings ends up being false. This shooting was no exception. An account on the 764 adjacent website, Skibbity Farms, was said to belong to Westman. There was never any real evidence to support this. Several hours later, the user continued posting on the site, very much dead, debunking this rumor. So there you go. That was the one. This is the one that, see, if you even see here, you can see that was the one that was like, okay, so if this thing was it, like you look, see, even there, this thing is on where you can see the 09A symbolism there. You can see the officer guy. I forget what his name is. Officer whatever. We covered him yesterday. He's like an 09A or like a 764 like mascot of sorts. But anyways, this one was like, this is the one we were like, Officer Gas Mask, I think is what his name is. But anyways, this was like kind of the dead giveaway, but it was like, how do we connect one to the other? So that's what she's getting at. So she says, too late. Millions of people already saw and spread this fake rumor, use it to support direct connection between Westman and 764. As of today, no direct connection exists. If one did, I'd be the first to jump on it. So, yeah. So this person, this account that supposedly them is not. The misinformation snowball continued rolling with people incorrectly interpreting Bobby Cremo's Awake the Rapper logo as an 09A symbol. In case you're wondering, the name of the symbol is Zeta 159. Yes, there are other obscure and completely irrelevant groups that have used similar logos, but none of them make as much sense as the one connected to another mass shooter. It's so funny how many people push back, insisting this is an 09A logo. It isn't, I promise. And then section 5, she just kind of a quick question thing. She says, are you sure there wasn't any direct references to 09A or 764/09A? Yes, and no one has proven otherwise. She says, is Q, are you sure? Answer, yes. Q, isn't it possible he's still connected to 764/09A via an account we haven't seen yet? Answer, yes, it totally is. My assessment is only based on available facts. Question, don't you think we should restrict gun purchases from people who... No, fuck off. Then she says, where can you read your full assessment? And then gives her Substack. So, yeah, go check that out. You can go check out her Substack for more if you want to do more digging into 764. But, I completely agree with this. So, yeah, I mean, if people were... I mean, I'd have to go back and look at maybe, like, other accounts. And so, like, maybe... I mean, I'd have to see whatever beef they had, but maybe, I don't know if he was saying it in a way that he was asserting it, because I don't know. I felt like when I was digging through, say, Clonny stuff, and I saw that Twitter one, I did somewhat, at least for me, although I guess I'm used to digging through this sort of stuff, I felt like I treated it with the, like, well, I don't really necessarily know this Twitter account's connected. So, if I'd continued to dig this on days further, I would have looked for where this specific connection was. So I don't know. It seemed pretty dubious to me. It was just kind of general aesthetics, and like you said, the trolling nature of it all seemed to imply perhaps 764. But yeah, so yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe more will come out, as she said. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. This fits it in a lot of ways. It's just not overtly to the degree that people seem to be behaving like it is. So. All right, let's pop the chat, see what you guys got to say, and check in. See more video complaints. History recently closed tabs. What are you talking about? Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm not bringing up my history for you guys. Are you out of your mind? I'm not showing you that. Although I don't even do anything. It's not like I do anything on this computer other than podcast. Tilla says, have I tried not being gay? I have not tried not being gay. Jake Moore says, since the anti-gunners are back in their gun control push, what are our home defense loadouts looking like? Stock up and training friends. Yes, definitely get guns, people, for sure. Good morning, RATML. He says, good morning, my nigga Josh. Good morning, dude. What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Soul Explorer, good morning. It says, weird to me that people think this is some sort of top-down op. Well, I kind of sort of do, although not really. I mean, like more in like a strategy of tension type way, in like a now like directly, like specific direct. I mean, sure. I mean, maybe they have their methods and ways of doing that. So, but do I think every little one of these shootings is like masterfully planned and controlled? No. Like when I say strategy of tension, you kind of create the social forces by little nudges here and there, and you kind of create the correct environment for certain situations to flourish, I guess is how you could put it. So I do think there probably are people who know what they're doing to some extent there. Like, I had on last night Colonel Towner Watkins. We did a Gladio episode. It's actually really good. We did almost 2 hours. I didn't think we were going to do that. And we talked about that, and we kind of went a little bit into like the roots of kind of 09A and where it kind of came from. And it was literally born out of essentially Gladio. So it was kind of like at the very least, even, it's like a runaway op at least at the very least. So yeah, this is what I'm saying. Now, do I think like that means that each one they can minutely control everything within this thing? I mean, how far has 764 gotten from 09A? That's even if you even buy the jump from 764 to 09A. So, sorry. It means he's a lead web developer. Soul Explorer says, "Oh no, am I eating my words that quickly?" He says he's a lead web developer. He leads a team that writes code for them. He's head of the Jeet team, says Tom33. Okay, so and then Soul Explorer is saying, so many software companies are in some level connected to the defense industry, so calling it spooky is a reach without more info. Okay, yeah, and then Tom33 says direct legions of Jeets to scam for Bob and Vagine. And then Jake says, I think the guy wrote anything and everything in the manifesto and on his gun, so various groups can claim motive that fits their narrative. It's a division/chaos move, evil stuff. Yes, I agree. That seems to be the case. Someone saying in the chat that BX is going to go the Booth route. I don't think she will, but I don't know. I didn't think Booth would either. Who knows? You never know. Just keep your friends, keep your friend group close or tight. That's all I could say. Not, by the way, there's no way casting any shade at BX. I just thought it was funny because it was bizarre that Booth did that. I literally had no inkling that he ever would do that insane crash out he did. Someone said, Black Eye says, didn't he have the rifle have the 09A sigil and the buck stock? I don't believe no. So I believe that was the one she's referring to, that Robert Cremo or that Cremo symbol. So it's not explicitly 09A. It's another shooter's thing. Let me see. And then here we go. Soul Explorer says, I agree. 100% people are being activated. Exactly. Yeah. So, all right. Let's get into the next one. And I got to do the stupid Twitter or do the stupid thing with StreamYard again because StreamYard sucks. All right. Let's get into the spooky big balls. I thought this was interesting. Now, I don't know. I hesitated to make this a whole separate topic, but this came up yesterday when we were covering parapower mapping stuff, and I just was intrigued. He just kind of casually mentioned, he says, also a reminder the ex-Doge employee and Teal Musk Menti named Big Balls Course Team is actually a direct product of the 09A/764/Sacom digital underworld, which is intriguing seeing as he played a lead role in Trump's recent federalized DC false jumping. LOL. Now that one I was like, what? Like 764? Like I never heard anything about that. I thought that was kind of wild. He, I guess, shared an excerpt from a post he shared before. He's saying the cyber criminal affiliate of the COM adjacent hacker gang, E. Godley. This is Big Balls Kornstein, the guy who worked for Elon Musk. I know this is very online. For those who don't know, Big Balls, I guess I probably ought to explain who Big Balls is. Big Balls is one of the dorks, I guess, he worked for Doge. I don't know what he's even doing now. I'm assuming he probably still works for Elon, but especially when Doge was actually a legitimate thing, he was one of the big guys because that was the whole thing. They had like a team of, they kind of sold it as like, oh, we have this team of nerd autists that are gonna like go into all these different places and be like, what's the minimum you need for this operation and continue running or whatever, and like kind of cut out all the waste and stuff. And they're supposed to be super, next level, leaning out tech nerd, whatever the fucks. And he was kind of one of them, Big Balls. I forget what even made his name, what made him notable. He was just kind of like, it's the celebrity of that group of people. He was, he called himself Big Balls. There was some story, I swear, I forget. And then he did recently get like the shit kicked out of him for something, a carjacking or something like that. There was some story before that. I didn't really ever look into all that. I never really cared. It was such a niche down thing, like whatever. But apparently this guy's claiming that he was an affiliate of the COM adjacent hacker gang E. Godley, who once ran an illicit porn clearinghouse as a teen and whose grandpa was a Soviet defector FBI asset, would be the Dogeling drafted to surge in Musk's federalized DC false carjacking. Which, yeah, that's right. The carjacking was in D.C. So this was like at the premier time for when they were trying to sell this like federalized police nonsense, which was like, let's be real, most people kind of bought it more with D.C. because they actually legally do have the purview to do such things in D.C., whereas they kind of don't elsewhere, although they're kind of doing it. So this is how they kind of, the sliding scale, how that works. But anyways, yeah, so once again, I'm a tech tard, so I mean, I know sort of like COM. I know it comes up a lot in 76409A stuff. Don't know anything about this E. Godley thing, this hacker gang, whether I can assume these connections. These seems like a lot of connections I have to jump to and being given off of very little. Seemingly basically just his word. I'm not seeing anything in this excerpt you provide here that supported any of this. I mean, maybe this is widely known knowledge. I'm not trying to cast any shit onto him, but let's dig into this. I thought it was interesting. This is one of the claims he made about his grandpa. He says he says the Dogeling, Big Balls Korstein, who previously ran a website that seemingly trafficked CSA materials. So okay. So I guess the clearing is I guess he said it's 16 supposedly. This guy, or was it? No, it was a teen. It was running a porn clearinghouse, and now there's also the claim that perhaps there was CSAM in there. Is what so child sexual abuse material. So it's a jump from what I mean. I don't know. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I just have not seen anything to support that. Oh, actually, never mind. He has excerpts here. So cool. Maybe we'll get something to support that. I thought he was just going to go into the grandson claim, or the grandpa claim. But it says he's the grandson of the KGB traitor and FBI asset who was drawn back to Russia by the Vitaly Yurchenko redefection so those higher ups could execute him. Man, it did it again. What is going on? What the fuck? I totally had this up. All right, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, once again, the visual aid didn't matter here, but still, it's just more frustrating that why is StreamYard doing this? I swear there is some fucking tech fed, Big Balls is fucking with me right now. That's what's going on. Anyways, so, all right, let's read some of these excerpts to back some of this stuff up. Hopefully the picture stays up so you guys can actually see it, although it doesn't really matter that much. I'm saying it either way. It says, among the cadre of Doge engineers now rooting through the guts of the administrative state, few have attracted more curiosity than Edward Big Balls Korstein, a 19-year-old coder who interned for 3 months for Neuralink, Elon Musk's brain implant company. Oh, shit. So this guy's probably brain implanted. Korstein has a brief but colorful history that includes big fire for path networks. I did not know he interned at Neuralink. I know that's like such a minor little thing, but that is such a little like, oh, fuck. Like, especially if we're talking MK Ultra shit like we were earlier, cheese curds and stuff. Wow. Yeah, this guy might literally have a chip in his brain. Anyways, Korstein has a brief but colorful history that includes being fired from Path Networks, a cybersecurity company, for giving company documents to a competitor. He apparently palled around with a criminal hacking group called The Calm, and according to a Telegram account associated with him, had solicited hacking services online. In 2021, he founded a company called Tesla.sexy LLC that, according to Wired, controls dozens of web domains, including at least 2 Russian-registered domains. One of those domains, which is still active, offers a service called Healthy, which is an AI bot for Discord servers targeting the Russian market. Here's a picture of his grandpa. There's one aspect of Korstein's background that's escaped public notice. His grandfather, Valery Martinov, was a KGB spy who played an intriguing role in a sprawling 1980s espionage drama. Imagine your grandpa being named Valery. What a sad state of affairs. But anyways, yeah. So okay, I'm looking back at the Calm thing real quick. So you ran a company. You can see. So we had a bunch of web domains, some registered in Russia, which I don't know if that really even means anything. Maybe that's just like a VPN thingy. I don't know. So yeah, he was some sort of hacker, which I guess would make sense to have domains registered all over the place, I would think. And yeah, I guess he supposedly was with the hacking. Once again, nothing supporting that I see. Here's more. So it was in April 1982, the FBI, this is his grandpa, recruited Martinov as an agent. He stayed in place and began feeding Soviet secrets to his FBI handlers. The FBI also recruited another KGB agent stationed at the D.C. Rezidentūra, Sergei Motorin, but KGB counter-intel officer Viktor Cherkashin, who was stationed at the D.C. Rezidentūra, had found his own sources in U.S. intelligence, incredibly good ones, in the form of CIA officer Aldrich Ames and FBI counter-intel agent Robert Hansen. Ames and Hansen would help the KGB unmask a number of moles and traitors in its midst, leading to their executions. One of them was Valery Martinov. So essentially, the crux of it here is Big Balls' grandpa was literally a double agent for us, betraying Russia, and he got executed for it. So, I mean, one could say perhaps the United States owes his grandpa a great debt, and sometimes those things play out generationally. That's why the KGB decided to welcome Vitaly Yurchenko back to the Soviet Union, and this was where Valery Martinov came in handy. Cherkashin told the unsuspecting Martinov that he would be a member of the KGB honor guard escorting Yurchenko back home to a hero's welcome. On November 6, Martinov boarded the plane to Moscow with Yurchenko, which confused FBI officials who wondered why the agent they had given the cryptonym Gentile was part of this mission. Then they wondered why he never came back. It would take the Americans a year to find out what had happened to him. So, yeah, Big Balls Grandpa just straight up fucking murdered for being a Fed for us against his Feds. Also, worth mentioning, too, he says, sorry, this cannot go unmentioned. The same Dogeling cum cyber criminal Big Balls also may have uploaded every American's social security number and personal details to an unauthorized cloud environment as an employee of the Social Security Administration. The biggest SSA leak ever. Insane. So it's, it seems to be, it looks like perhaps he was a part of it. So the Social Security whistleblower says hundreds of millions of Americans are at risk after their personal data was recklessly uploaded to a vulnerable cloud server, which one of the most notorious Doge operatives, Big Balls, could access. So I guess the point here is that he had access to it, so he could have been one of them, is the thing here. I don't know if there's anything else that suggests it, but hey, whatever. It's all glows. Let's check in with you guys. Magic Me has just done a great 09A breakdown. Don't know who that is, but just passing on the word. All right. Soul Explorer says they keep turning up the water temperature. X seems to be playing a big role in nurturing the pressure cooker effect. Exactly. Black Eye says this whole thing is a modern iteration of Phoenix. And then Tom says, I just realized that this guy is called Black Eye and not Black Guy. Yes, this guy is Black Eye. Yeah. Good morning, John Black. Good to see you joining us. Good morning. Good morning. Dr. Nick Rivera. He says, you ain't the only one this morning. He said HLM lost all its viewers midstream and didn't get them back to the end of the show. What? Well, I had the opposite. I was actually saying it was bigger than normal. So I don't know. It's just weird. Although no, it seems about normal now. It just seemed to be pretty big off the jump. All right. And then here's Soul Explorer Coaching says using Russian registrars would probably be a way to protect against Western censorship. So then good morning, Tipster. Good to see you joining us. All right. Let's go ahead and get into the next story. Let's get into some Alexandrovitch updates. So Alexandrovitch, one of Netanyahu's top cyber and AI officials, was arrested in Nevada on August 6th as part of a multi-week sting targeting child sex predators. You guys know this. This is from Sean King. We're getting some new information on this. We'll just go and read the one little piece. And this is, I will say, I know I'm hesitant to report on sources say, but this is a story I want to stay on and I want to keep apprised on. But this is a sources say story. I refer to them as sources say, just to kind of like tease it. But as of now, until more comes out, this is sources say. But this is how these start. A lot of times just sources say, and enough people report that, hey, sources say. And then someone goes out and goes, yeah, and I'm like, well, I'm saying it now. And then you have a name, and then documents come. And then, so anyways, reporting on these is sometimes worthwhile, but you do also have to realize like this also could just be some shadowy administration somewhere blowing smoke up your asshole. But hey, and this is from Sean King, so I do feel the need to caveat that it could be complete and utter bullshit. I have no idea. But anyways, he says, when the news first broke, this is on the arrest, multiple Israeli government officials publicly admitted Alexandrovitch did not have diplomatic immunity. So this was a claim that was floated around the Israeli government because people immediately jumped to, he must have got diplomatic immunity, and he got the hookup. And then immediately from Israel, they said, no, he did not have public or diplomatic immunity. I think Netanyahu even said he wasn't arrested because the first stories out of Israel explicitly stated he was in Las Vegas for a tech conference, not as a diplomat. Police themselves confirmed it. He had no diplomatic visa. They were 100% sure. He says, I personally have the screenshots of Alexandrovitch's own LinkedIn page where he posted repeatedly about attending the conference. He was there as a cyber official, a civilian, not as an accredited diplomat. So how then was he allowed to leave? The lie is born. The days after the arrest became public, Israel scrambled to spin. First, they downplayed it. Then they lied, saying he was briefly questioned. Then they said he was never arrested. Then came something even stranger. Whispers that he was embassy staff with immunity. So as if that's like, okay, well, that was embassy staff. It's okay, he fucked kids or tried to fuck kids. And now I can confirm those whispers are being fed directly to members of Congress. So this is the sources say. So these whispers are being fed to Congress. There's a claim that these guys are being told, oh, you had immunity while he was there, diplomatic immunity. A sitting congressman, whom I will not name to protect their identity, shared with me exactly what they were told by Trump officials. This was at 9:55 p.m. tonight, Thursday, August 28th, 2025. Says, in quotes, so I finally got a response. The individual was an employee of the embassy, so there was diplomatic immunity. And then he goes, that's the cover story, and it is a lie. This just isn't true. And the only way to make it true would be simple for a nation like Israel that lies more than it tells the truth. They'd have to forward some documents and dates showing this pervert had diplomatic immunity. That would be easy to forge, except he's literally not a diplomat. Never was, never will be. And he says, the proof is fiction and why they told it. This embassy employee defense falls apart immediately. The timeline doesn't match. Alexandrovich's arrest and charging documents show he was in Nevada as part of a tech conference. His own LinkedIn posts showed photos of himself at the conference, confirming his attendance. Israeli officials admitted it before they knew they'd need to tell this lie later. 2, police confirmed no immunity. Law enforcement told me directly just days after the arrest was public that he was not on a diplomatic visa. They were 100% sure. I reported. 3, the spin only appeared 20 whole days after this pervert was arrested. And listen, every agency under the sun was involved in this case, from local police, state police, Homeland Security, FBI. They were all in this. Everybody else they arrested has already seen judges 4 to 5 times. They are in deep trouble, as they should be. When it became politically impossible to justify how in the world they let Tom Alexandrovitch go, suddenly the narrative changed. He had diplomatic cover. It's bullshit. He says, I stopped cursing 2 years ago. That's how angry I am over this. And here's the truth. The only reason to invent this story is to explain the unforgivable error of letting Alexandrovitch flee. He was not a diplomat. They know it. We know it. This is a full-fledged lie. The immunity excuse was crafted after the fact as a retroactive justification for something Washington and Jerusalem both understand. Tom Alexandrovitch is never coming back to America again because the Trump administration let him go. If he truly had diplomatic immunity, it would have been invoked at the time of arrest. Instead, he was booked, charged, and bailed like any other suspect. Only later did the embassy story emerge, fabricated to sanitize the decision to let him escape justice. I literally read the police reports and some of the transcripts of the 31-minute interview. Never once did this man say he was a diplomat who had some kind of immunity. This isn't the point, but how sick is diplomatic immunity? If this is a real thing, or does it just really exist for Israel, or is it a real thing? So yeah, that is now, this is what we're getting floated out. We're getting floated. There's also rumors too that more rumors being upheld about the idea of perhaps probation being the case, and this is going to be a Zoom trial and perhaps get probation. And then on top of that too, the celebrity lawyer apparently has some pretty dubious money trails if you follow him, particularly in relation to like the DA of which he is crafting a deal for Alexandrovitch probably as we speak, and alluded to a deal with the judge recently that we covered yesterday. So fun times. This pedophile is going to probably go free. All right, let's check in chat, see what you guys say. Been a minute. Oh, Dr. Rivera says he was meaning the tech issues, saying I'm not the only one. Yeah, just weird-ass tech issues. Just annoying as shit. Good morning, Steve. Good morning. Tom says Sean King is smoking someone's asshole. Yeah, that's exactly why I caveated the fuck out of it, dude. Yeah, so take that for what it's worth, but even then, I mean, it's hard not to be with him, dude. He's cooking with fire. Damn near everything he said there was legit. It's the only thing I really am like, I can't basically vouch for was basically the claim about him talking to, like, what this is, like, the claim about him talking to a congressman or whatever. But everything else seems to check out. I mean, the only thing I don't really know here is diplomatic immunity. He's other than that, this dude's cooking with fire. He's crushing it. So, all right, another story. I just thought this would be interested to, maybe we'll dig in this later, but I just wanted to kind of let you guys know this is a thing, and I don't know what to make of it. I watched this video last night. I'm not going to make you guys watch it because it's like 9 minutes long, But Glenn Greenwald put out on his YouTube channel and other places, I guess Twitter as well. And I guess on Twitter, this is the caption. He put, "Is Whitney Webb a conspiracy theorist or a careful researcher? This is Glenn Greenwald answers your questions." And then the YouTube one had a different name and stuff. I forget what it was. It was just like answering questions or whatever. So it's like a Q&A portion of his show or whatever. And someone asked him about a history of him and Whitney Webb. I guess there's rumors of beef or whatever. Well, apparently in the video, Glenn even kind of addresses it. And I've alluded to this, but I haven't really dug into this stuff enough to really have too strong of opinion. But it's kind of his times of the Intercept and some of the weirdness around his time with Snowden. This seems to point to, just at the very least, you should be concerned, maybe eyebrows raised. I mean, there's all, from the little bit I know, I guess there's, good faith ways to interpret all this and be like, well, these are just happen to be coincidences, that. But Glenn Greenwald does, I guess, I don't know, he's, how do I put this? Essentially, Whitney Webb reported on a lot of the shenanigans that happened over at the Intercept. What was his name? Vidmar, I think is the name of the guy who was a CEO over there. Some of the weirdness there, he was essentially one of the PayPal mafia guys who has odd connections with Thiel, Elon Musk, all these other fucking spooky people. And then they also have the Intercept seem to have this odd, crazy track record of taking in whistleblowers and these whistleblowers getting fucked over, essentially getting somehow outed in one way or another or screwed over. And I mean, Glenn did eventually leave the Intercept, is doing his own thing now. I don't know exactly if he's publishing somewhere else or doing a solo venture or what. So, I mean, he did leave there, but the Intercept was his baby. Like, I'm pretty sure he was, I don't know what he would be considered, but maybe one of the founders, perhaps. It wasn't the CEO, because Vidmar was the CEO, but he was kind of, that was like his thing, was that. And so, if anything, it was kind of a crazy time when he left the Intercept, because it was supposed to be like almost a sign of like that's how bad it's gotten, and perhaps I don't know, but apparently he brought a lot of this stuff back up. Was kind of saying how, and I don't know the truth of this matter. Maybe Whitney Webb was excoriating Glenn Greenwald unfairly through all of this, because as I pointed out, a lot of this is all stuff that you're like, okay, maybe there were spooky forces operating around Glenn Greenwald and he was unaware or whatever. I mean, he is also interacting with whistleblowers and stuff, so maybe his entity, the Intercept, had nothing to do with any of that stuff, and that was all just government interaction or whatever. But Whitney Webb kind of pointed out a lot of the patterns I think a lot of us, were rightly concerned about, and maybe she overstepped the bounds into maybe asserting certain things that weren't assertable, but I'm not sure. But apparently this has come back up, and Glenn Greenwald's the one bringing it up in just kind of in a Q&A situation. So you guys go check out that video. He did say it in a very polite way. He did kind of say in a way that like she kind of overstated things and this and that, and like he's saying some of these things were flat out just wrong or like complete and utter errors. So he's like, I do struggle to put too much stock in her reporting, but he's even like, I generally like her reporting. I like her generally. It's just that like obviously when you have someone that's been coming at you with stuff is not true, but it's like, so that's his gripe. And then I just kind of wanted to bring it to you, I guess, one of Whitney's Whitney's responses, and maybe I'll dig into this more on my own to get her take on it. But I mean, this is something that probably has, let's be real, years of published stuff out there on the topic. So I barely know much about this at all. But this is what she had to say to it all. Whitney Webb said, says, "Hi, Glenn. I find it very inaccurate that you would claim that I lied about your Snowden reporting or really about you at all, as the articles and theories you're referring to are reports about the Intercept, how many of the whistleblowers who trusted the Intercept ended up in prison, some of whom thanks directly to other Intercept journalists they trusted, and how the Snowden archive was closed. Laura Poitras, who you mentioned in this video, was outraged about the archive being shuttered and said you and top staff did not even inform Snowden that it was being shut down. I'm obviously aware that your underling Michael Tracy, which is another interesting component with all the Michael Tracy stuff going on this day. I wasn't aware that, I guess I wasn't that they work for the same publishing house or whatever. So I guess Michael Tracy, I think, currently works for Glenn Greenwald. Although he did even address some of the crazy Epstein stuff that Michael's been on about, and Glenn even was like, I don't really, kind of like almost like hand waved, kind of eye rolled, is like, he seems to have a similar, or at least he's purported or seeming to give the impression he has a similar take to the Michael Tracy thing as us. Or like, I guess like the most somewhat good faith you could kind of give a Michael Tracy while still giving like an eye roll and like a, okay, whatever. That's kind of what the vibe I got from him. The most polite, stated in the most polite way possible. But that is interesting. That association, an interesting association. But anyways, I'm obviously aware that your underling Michael Tracy has made 2 very bad face smears against me and other researchers in the Epstein case recently, taking 2 relatively minor errors I had already taken corrective action on to try and discredit my 10-year body of work, among other things. I can assure you that those mistakes are extremely rare in my work, and they are not present in my articles on The Intercept, the content of which you paint as containing things that are provably false. I am posting links to all my articles in the issue below. Please let me know what is provably false about them, and I will happily make a correction. Also, I'm hardly the only journalist who have made these claims about the Snowden archive and The Intercept. Why are you singling me out? And I'll say that last sentence. Let's be real. Whitney Webb's a powerhouse in this realm, so that's why you would single her out. She's of that realm of research. That's the name that comes to mind. And she shared the articles here for those who are interested. And it goes, WikiLeaks, who you voted to defund FBF, tweeted this, by the way. Are you going to get on their case? I know this is a WikiLeaks tweet. It says, The Intercept, First Look Media Incorporated, controlled and funded by eBay/PayPal billionaire Pierre Omidyar. There you go. If I said Vidmar earlier. Pierre Omidyar. He's the eBay and the PayPal billionaire. He shuts down the Snowden archive publishing after releasing less than 10% after 5 years. So this is one thing a lot of people don't know. 90% of the Snowden archive is just shut down. So we don't have access to it. I don't know who has access to it. Maybe we'll get into that in a second. And here is their statement on it. It says, as I have communicated to you and Betsy, I am sickened by your decision to eliminate the research team, which has been the beating heart of the newsroom since First Look Media was founded and has overseen the protection of the Snowden archive. I'm also sickened by your joint decision to shut down the Snowden archive, which I was informed of only yesterday, a decision made without consulting me or the board of directors. Your email's attempt to paper over these firings is not appropriate when the company is presented with such devastating news. So yeah, not a good look. This is kind of what she's getting at. It says, in the past, this was your response to suggestions that Omidyar may have influenced the Intercept's handling of the Snowden archive even a tiny bit. No, this is what he had to say. I guess this is from the past. This is from October 8th, 2019. This is a big back and forth. I mean, some of these people are gone, so I'll try to find a spot to start at. I guess this would be a good spot to start. Right here. It says, The Intercept routinely smears Assange. This is Whitney Webb, by the way. This is from back in October 2019. Every whistleblower in prison except Manning was outed by The Intercept. Greenwald won't comment and voted to block WL funding on FPF board. Snowden smears Assange in new book, doesn't care much that less than 10% of his leaks were pubbed. An objective analysis of those facts speaks volumes. I'll leave it at that. Susie says that EFF, not Omidyar, behind FPF decision to block WL, but EFF is a longtime recipient of Omidyar money and part of Omidyar network. Also, Trevor Tim first contacted Greenwald and Omidyar after Snowden. This is Susie Dawson, some other writer. Follow them. This is my article directly tied to EFF executives to the Obama White House, Department of Commerce, and World Economic Forum. Control F, saving ourselves in blank. Suggests that I'm somehow protecting Omidyar, who have repeatedly called fair game, are baseless. Then here's another one. My take from this discussion is that you're not protecting Omidyar. Anyway, I never believed that, but perhaps you're a bit overprotective about Greenwald and Snowden from scrutiny. Here's Whitney Webb. Again, it says, for what it's worth, I've never accused Susie. So this is like an interdynamic thing, but I think maybe we might need the context before we get to what Glenn says. So there's like different people talking. So I've never accused Susie of protecting Omidyar, but she did strongly reject my claim that Omidyar was main influence on FBF decision to cut off WL. But I think it was because of her affection of Greenwald and Snowden, not a desire to shield Omidyar from scrutiny. And then here's Glenn. He says, I really wish one day you could come to understand how often you use total delusions and lies as truth, but it'll never happen. He says, Omidyar had zero role in the decision about the Snowden archive. It had to do with staff layoffs only. Betsy Reed was the only decision maker. You're sad. Okay, so that's his statement on it. And I guess the idea here is that so Betsy Reed was the only decision maker. So I'm assuming that means whatever he said here. Well then, yeah, that goes into, that completely goes, that's okay. That the point that Whitney's getting at here, which maybe you missed, is that tweet from Glenn flies directly in the face of this WikiLeaks tweet, which was, who is this? This is a complaint by Laura Poitras to the CEO Michael Bloom, which, to be fair, I guess maybe in defense of Greenwald here, I guess maybe you could say that maybe this Laura person, which I'm not sure who this is, perhaps had a misunderstanding of the situation when she put out this thing. So, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I guess it doesn't look good. So yeah, that's I guess something to keep an eye on. I will keep an eye out. I don't know. I'll be honest, Glenn is someone, I know everyone likes to jump to, oh, Snowden, this, that, but like, I don't know. Like like for example, that episode I was telling you about last night with the Gladio episode, we were talking about Eisenhower. You know, he was known for having the big talk about the military-industrial complex. Meanwhile, at the same time, he's like basically, you know, putting in the building blocks of Gladio. Like he's literally like the architect of it. Also went into like Wesley Clark and like how like, so these like people have he's the one of the 7 countries in 7 years. And at the same time, he's also, I mean, I forget, I don't want to try to go check out the episode. I forget what the claims, specific General Wesley Clark claims are, but it makes you realize like, oh, these people that they make these landmark, like crazy people, it's like almost damn near any time it's some sort of deep, I mean, aside from maybe like a Ron Paul, it's like there's something, it's not an uncommon thing for there to be something else there. Now, is that fair to go, well, because this is some touchstone person in the zeitgeist, that means that they are that? No. I'm just saying that you shouldn't go because they are that, you then, you know, cut that out of your thinking entirely. People have this idea of hero worship, and they take someone like a Glenn Greenwald and they go, well, he did some things, you know, vaguely with, one of the most famous whistleblowers of all time, so therefore a good guy. Well, I don't know. There's like a million other things that could go into this. It's also sometimes these things are handed, these people are handed these things by the power that be for certain reasons, because they realize that, hey, we need a relief valve, and we can't keep certain things can't keep certain things concealed forever. So I'll be honest, even the recent, I know you guys, there was that recent like sexual blackmail, at least that's the way it seemed, that came out for Glenn Greenwald. There was that video that came out that was like him getting spit on and all sorts of like weird, like, well, then when you dig into that a little bit more, you come to find out apparently that was from my understanding, I could be wrong, that was from some video he paid for it to be, he commissioned for it to be made through some porn producers or something. So this is some weird, demented gay thing he did for fun, which whatever, do your own thing. But its point being is it kind of almost looks like it gives a perception that, and that perhaps maybe he may even have done it himself. I mean, I'm not saying he did or did not. I'm just saying that is a possibility. And so it's like people jump to one side or the other and go, well, this is clearly an attack on Glenn Greenwald because he's the greatest reporter there ever is, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I mean, maybe there's more to the story. And that's what Whitney Webb is seemingly saying here. All right. Last story of today, although it's kind of like two stories. We'll get into the Israeli DEI. Let's check the chat, see what you guys got to say. It's been a minute. What's up, Mikey? Good morning. Happy Friday. And Nick Rivera says, why are Pierre Teal boys, Michael Tracy and Glenn Greenwald going after Whitney? Why now? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll be honest, like, as I say, it's all, I haven't seen anything that's like fucking smoking gun, but it's a whole lot of quinky dinks are flying about. It says, yeah, GG, former pornographer and owner of a male escort energy who happened to marry one of escorts that worked for him, says Dr. Nick Rivera. And he goes, and how did his husband die? E. coli in his stomach. Ugh, gross. That's gross. That's gross to think about. Yeah, so as Nick says, like, if Glenn Greenwald is going to go after Whitney, let's start talking facts. Verifiable facts, talking about it. Yeah, exactly. Alien Big Cat, why is everyone down on Webb? yeah, because she puts out hard facts. Because the big thing is this: she even said, like, I've even seen her talk shit about like somebody like that fucking Nephilim dude, Ian Carroll, about how like he'll have all this stuff and like lay out all these things in her work, but then like conveniently kind of leave out the teal stuff or whatever, or not really emphasize it much, and be like, and that's why we need to create political coalitions with Trump. You're like, what? Like, you got that from here? Or did you not like catch Howard Lutnick, the supergroup, Epstein, like Peter Thiel, like all of these things swirling around in this book that paint a very, very sinister picture? You didn't catch any of this? So yeah. See, Dr. Nick Rivera says, who was Glenn Greenwald giving his blackmail material to. Epstein was also a blackmailer. Did Glenn Greenwald allow his appointment to be used for dates? Yes, also he did. Snowden and Chelsea Manning all betrayed by The Intercept, says Nick Rivera. So, yep. The pornographer filmed himself. Shocked, I tell you, says Dr. Nick. Yes. You're cooking with fire, Nick. All right, let's get into... Now, this is a story I've been sitting on for a while, and I just kind of been like meaning to cover, and I just kind of always save the end. We finally got to it. I'm glad we did, because we're covering DEI for Israel. Now, this is... actually, let's start here. This is Boltzmann Booty. He shared this a while back. It says... they're making it a violation of anti-discrimination laws to criticize Israel, altering their Middle East curriculum to be more pro-Israel, hiring more Zionist Hasbroid academics, their fake-ass Israeli and Jewish Studies Institute. And what he's talking about here is a tweet from about a month ago of the Columbia University agrees to pay more than $220 million in deal with the Trump administration to restore federal funding. Which... I never really thought too much, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess I have, sort of. But he's kind of making the point here of, like, they're essentially, these guys are being strong-armed. And while we had said before, like, oh, at least it's just the colleges and stuff, it is actually kind of a big deal, all these stupid anti-discrimination laws and these rules regarding how that they're not allowed to be anti-Israel, or it's like it's kind of, I don't know, uncertain whether you're allowed to be with these new, with the Holocaust Remembrance Museum, law rules or whatever, or definition. The Holocaust Remembrance Museum working definition. That is what the current legal definition of anti-Semitism is, that, got pushed through a while ago, and I guess of which the colleges are required to abide by because they are publicly funded. Anyways, so what I'm getting at there is just the idea of this curbing of language and how this extrapolates out from there is kind of freaky if you really think about it. And then you add into it that these guys are being essentially bullied, I guess you could say, by the federal government over and over again. And then so we have literally they're paying the Trump administration now. So you have Columbia University paying them $220 million. And then to kind of pair it with that, we have the I don't know if we've covered the PragerU stuff going on, where they're fucking we have the White House partnering with PragerU. The conservative bias education company is already making AI content in a series launched with the Trump administration, and new reporting suggests the White House could be eyeing PragerU as a substitute for PBS. Now, this was earlier this month, so maybe more has come on this, but this was being floated about. We also had the story, I think last week, where I believe Tennessee and one other state, they were creating, I think it was to be a teacher. There was a certain PragerU course you had to complete. It was to essentially help identify leftist extremism in their schools, to root it out, essentially, which is creepy, especially considering it comes from PragerU, which is almost certainly an Hasbro Israeli op. So, yeah, of which Kash Patel's girlfriend works for. Although, let's be real, probably not so much his girlfriend as his beard, because he is living with a billionaire, with a handsome or a semi-handsome middle-aged billionaire. He's living the fruitcake Jeet life, fucking living high on the hog. Doing a whole lot of fuck all and partying and taking poppers and kissing dudes, living the homo life. That's what's going on. And we have all these things swirling around. We're working with PragerU, so it's just kind of this full narrative dominance they're attempting. I think it's not going to work out so well for them in the long run, but it is interesting to see how this plays out. We have, let me see, go back to here. And then you have Bolton and Booty saying, I wish someone would cover his reserves. He says, a fucking giant organized Israeli intelligence operation targeting over half the Ivy League and other elite students or elite institutions with fake students who go over there to feign offense at criticism of Israel and undertake lawsuits like this. Because this is as a result of a lawsuit. And he goes, he also says, look at his face. He plays this video of Eyal Jacob.
I do not feel safe. Let me be clear. I do not feel safe.
We got to make sure these Jews feel safe. He says, Booty says, check out the backgrounds of the students that successfully got Harvard to pussy out, referring to all these different, the different ins and outs here. He goes, Yaffa moved here in 2021 through the Wexner Foundation. So this is one of the, this is over in Harvard. This is one of the students who created some sort of uproar over there. This theory much falls in line with our coverage the other day of the false flag anti-Semitism occurring over in Australia. But yeah, Scheffler came to deepen his policy studies after being the assistant military secretary. Holy, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He was assistant military secretary to the prime minister for 4 years. Said, I wanted to go to a place where they teach the best how to make policy. Wow. 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 That is, that's something, huh? Yeah, let's go back to this. We'll actually start at the beginning of this. This is a separate thread. It said, Harvard agreed to adopt the criticism of Israel equals anti-Semitism definition after a lawsuit by 2 Israelis. Yaffa, 40, a former IDF armored officer. That's the one we just talked about, who was the assistant secretary to the prime minister for 4 years. And Scheffler, 43, combat navigator, prime minister's military secretary, IDF spokesman for international media since 2021. So the second one, Scheffler is a fucking IDF spokesman, if I'm reading this correctly. Holy shit. Wow. Oh, no, I read that wrong. No, Yaf came here with the Wexner Foundation. So, okay, I read that wrong. Yaffa came with the Wexner Foundation. Then Scheffler was the assistant military secretary of the prime minister. So, okay. But now Yaf was somehow managed to get here through the Wexner Foundation, which was, let's be real, you may as well just be saying the Epstein Foundation. Like, Epstein literally had power of attorney over all of Wexner's stuff. So that was, at one point in time when Epstein was alive, that was basically the Epstein Foundation. Although I guess it's a foundation, so maybe it's had different rules for how you could tap. Anyways, whatever. Just nuts. Wow. And here you go. Here's some more for this. Wow. I guess this is from this. I've researched and studied and fought against anti-Semitism for over 20 years. Columbia University has been on my radar since 2002. There were serious problems here. I once considered Harvard a better campus for Jews. 2025, we cannot consider any campus to be completely safe. Man, these fucking... All right, let's man, that's wild. That caught me off guard. That's a wild one. Man, I may almost have to dig back into this and recover it deeper. Wow. All right, well that's the end of it, man. That's fucking nuts. So we have legit. It legit looks like we got fucking Mossad type stuff operations going on in the universities currently as we speak. And they are strong arming them into all these concessions to where, I know this is going to be this padded area for Israel. And that's what we're seeing. Wild stuff. All right, guys, let's roll through the chat. And then let's get the fuck out of here. Get on out of here. By the way, if you guys didn't notice, yesterday's outro got nixed. It's funny, I called it too, but it was a copyright thing is the claim because it was 4 minutes long. And I guess it was from Netflix or something. So yeah, but anyways, it was a pretty fire clip, Norm Macdonald clip. Let's keep going. Alien Big Cat says, Ick's done some good research. He says, I'm sick of this guilt by association shit. I don't really know what the supposed guilt by association of Ick. I've never really looked too much in his work. Generally not that impressed, if I'm going to be honest with you, but I haven't looked into it enough. Yeah, wow, this is wild, says Bug Fights. Yeah, right? That is nuts. Nick says that was a fire clip. Oh, did I get a good little rant in there? Awesome. I mean, I should pay somebody to do that for me. Cut up my clips. With that, guys, though, I think we're probably going to get out of here. I think we went through plenty today. I got done a little bit early like I wanted to, so that's cool. That's a positive development. I almost never do that. If anything, I'm usually late. So yeah, if you guys want to support what I'm doing over here, leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can follow me on Twitter at TowerGangJose. If you want to support me in the best way you can do that with money. I mean, all those other things do help to grow the show too, but I mean, obviously, let's be real, money's the best way you can do it, but I get it if you can't. So, but if you can, I do try to give you your value back. I mean, I'd hope you at least get your value just by supporting it, or just by my existing, you feel like you get at least $2 a month of value, but I do try to give you back perks that, I think give you your value back. For example, I do 1 to 2 episodes a week, usually that are paywalled. That's about 4 behind the paywall at any given time. It's also got access to the ad-free RSS feed, access to Telegram, also get access to the pre-show and priorities in the call-in on me and Austin's weekly live call-in show, Already Dead, which goes out on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. The highest level is my sponsors, and I give them a big shout-out every episode. It's a big thank you to them. My previous co-hosts on Tower Gang, at Learn to Toad, also at EbrightD's, at ZOVRECK, at _InfiniteZeal, Tim Tuttle, at John Klebold, Will Bells, Delicious Blueberry Rabbit Eye Wine, big fan of the show, Torme, at Wayne Taculus, and Not Masad. With that, guys, we're going to get out of here. Love you all. Stick around for the outro. I have an adorable little one today, a little less funny. We've done a couple funny ones lately, so I'm going to give you a cute little wholesome one on your way out. So yeah, let me check out the chat real quick. I gotta get this in here. We got Jose is so handsome. Oh my God, support him and Cat so he doesn't have to sell crack. Oh my God, you're so true, King. So true, King. Knife Safety Plus says on Glenn Greenwald. That's to say, trying to dirt on a gay man is like trying to find sand in the Sahara. Exactly. It's also like, I don't know. Is this how the gays be? I don't know. Soul Explorers, my mind is kind of blown. My words can express how shocked I am that a gay Jewish reporter might not actually be trustworthy, right? Yeah, surprise. And free Palestine! Alright, guys, going to get out of here. Love you all. I hope you guys enjoy the outro. Cute little animal video. Alright, bye-bye. Oh, there we go.
When I'm there and I feel this time there's no one to save me. This all or nothing really got a way of driving me crazy. I need somebody to heal, somebody to know, somebody to have, somebody to hold. It's easy to say, but it's never the same. I guess I kinda like the way you numbed all the pain. And now the day bleeds into nightfall, and you're not here to get me through it all. I let my guard down, and you pulled the rug. I was getting kinda used to being someone you loved. I met you in the dark, you lit me up. You made me feel as though I was enough. We danced the night away, we drank too much. I held your hair back.